The ingredients you will need are all-purpose flour, vegetable shortening, salt, and water. To start off, I'm first going to add the flour. And then I'm going to sprinkle in the salt. Now for this particular recipe, there are absolutely no measurements. I am not following any measurements at all. This is actually the way that my tia taught me how to make tortillas, and I know it's kind of a pain to some of you whenever I don't have specific measurements, but at the same time, in Mexican households, that's the way we learn how to cook. Next, I'm adding in the vegetable shortening. After adding the vegetable shortening, I'm going to mix the ingredients together with my hands until it forms into a nice crumbly texture. Now while I was mixing, I did feel that the flour was a bit dry, so I'm adding a little more vegetable shortening. This right here is a really good texture. It sort of feels like soft, pillowy, wet sand. Now I'm going to start adding in the water little by little until I get the right dough texture. When it comes to adding in the water, it's always best to add in just a little bit at a time and work your way through there, rather than putting in too much and trying to fix it later on. And with each addition of water, just continue to knead the dough. This is the perfect dough consistency right here. It's not super sticky and it doesn't stick to your hands, but it's also not hard as a rock either. It's very elastic. And then take a paper towel and cover the dough and let it sit for 10 minutes. While the dough sits, I'm going to heat up my comal to a medium heat. After the dough has been sitting and the comal is perfectly heated, we're now going to portion out the tortillas. So when it comes to the sizing of the balls that I portion out, I want to say that they're about 3 to 4 inches long. Now one thing that you want to do with each ball is you want to dip it in a little bit of extra flour, that way it doesn't stick to your rolling surface. And to roll out the tortillas, my tia taught me that with firm pressure, you just want to do one push up and one push down. And then you turn it and repeat that process again until you get the size of tortillas that you want. Once you have your tortilla rolled out to your perfect sizing, flip it onto your comal and heat each side. Now depending on what heat that you have it on, it can take either a minute for each side or 2 to 3 minutes. The best thing that I can recommend is just to make sure to keep an eye on your tortillas when they're cooking, that way they don't burn and you can get them to your desired texture. And of course, the way we Latinos do it, we do not use a spatula to flip our tortillas, we use our hands. And whenever your tortilla is finished cooking, just place them in your favorite tortilla warmer. When it comes to the way that I like mine cooked, I like to wait until the little spots are a nice chocolate brown. And just repeat the previous steps until you make as many tortillas as you like. Now, one trick that my Thea did teach me is that if I don't want to have to use up all the dough right then and there, all I have to do is just take some plastic wrap the dough, and I can save it for either making more tortillas later on in the night or for the next day. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can just use up all the dough, and whatever tortillas you don't eat, you can just place them in the fridge, and you can just heat them up on the comal again later on. Now when you're done cooking all your tortillas, you can enjoy them in any way you want. My favorite way is to break them into small pieces and dip them into some frijoles. Alright guys, so that is it for this tortilla recipe video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Now when it came to the frijoles that I showed earlier, I actually did make those myself. So if you'd be interested in a video showcasing how I made those, just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's about it for me guys. I really do thank you all for joining me today and watching my video. And until next time, stay spooky and I'll see you guys later. Bye!